Good morning children. We are discussing class 8 subject physics. The third chapter is synthetic fibers and plastics. Children, in the previous class we already discussed about what are called synthetic fibers and what are the types of plastics. Okay, tell me how many types of plastics are available in our daily life. Total we have 60,000 of plastic types. Okay, we have totally 60,000 types of plastics in the environment, but from this only we are using 6 types of plastics in our day-to-day life. Okay, we have totally 60,000 types of plastics in our environment, but from that only we are using 6 types of plastic in our day-to-day life. Okay, so generally we are using 2 types of plastics in our day-to-day life. Okay, the first one is the thermoplastics and the second one is the thermosetting plastics. Already we discussed in the previous class. Okay, children, why we prefer plastic? Okay, what is the next topic? Why do we prefer plastic? What is our next topic? Why do we prefer plastic? Why do we prefer plastic? Children, once you observe in your day-to-day life, from morning to night, what we are using, houseware utensils and clothes and the furniture and the pen, pencil, whatever it may be, most of them we are using plastic in our day-to-day life. Okay, so why we are preferring plastic? Because the plastic contains some advantages. The first one is the plastic which is available in cheap cost. Okay, the plastic which is available in the cheap cost, which is durable material. Okay, which is durable material, and it does not. Okay, so the plastic is a very cheap in cost and it is a durable material. Okay, and it is available in any way. Okay, it is available in any way, and it is light in weight. Okay, it is light in weight. Okay, it is light in weight, and what happened? So it is very less weight. It is very less weight, means we can easily carry. Okay, we can easily carry, easy to carry. Okay, so that's why we are preferring plastic in our day-to-day life. Okay, children, why do we prefer plastic? Because the plastic which is in cheap in cost and it is durable for longer time, and it is available in many places and everywhere in the world, which is light in weight, and it is easy to carry. Okay, which is easy to carry. That's why we are using most of them plastic in our day-to-day life. Okay, so again, why we are using plastic? So this plastic is a strong material. Okay, this plastic is a strong material. It does not form rust. Okay, it does not form rust. Children, we know that the iron gates they are very soon get rusted. Okay, so but plastic is not corrosion material, means the plastic which is very strong material when compared to other materials, and it does not form a rust. Okay, it does not form a rust, means it is available for longer time. So that's why mostly we are preferring plastic material. Okay, mostly we are preferring shapes, means we can remold it easily. Okay, now so that's why in our household articles and in the offices, whatever it may be, we are using most of them plastic. Okay, we are using most of them plastic. Children, very important question. The scientist, do you know the scientist? The Belgian scientist, okay, named Dr. Leo Hendrik Becquerel. Okay, now so the Belgian scientist, okay, what is the name of the scientist? Doctor, okay, what is the name of the scientist? Dr. Leo Hendrik, Becquerel. Okay, Dr. Leo Hendrik Becquerel. Okay, so he invented a material that is called Becquerelite. Okay, he invented a material that is called Becquerelite. Okay, so what happens? The Belgian scientist named Dr. Leo Hendrik Becquerel, he invented a material in the laboratory. Okay, so the material name is Becquerelite. How he was invented this Becquerelite material? So he combined two chemicals with each other. Okay, the first chemical is carbonic acid. Okay, what is the first chemical? Carbonic acid, and he reacted with formaldehyde. Okay, formaldehyde. Actually, these are present in the solid states. Okay, actually, these both chemicals are present in the solid state. Okay, he combines carbonic acid with formaldehyde. Then he got a new compound. The compound is nothing but Becquerelite. Okay, the compound is nothing but Becquerelite. So, this Becquerelite discovery made him the father of present plastic industry. Okay, so he invented Becquerelite chemical. Children, yesterday we discussed this Becquerelite is very essential to our day-to-day life. Okay, so it is a poor conductivity of heat and electricity, and we are using the handle of utensils and pressure cooker handles, screwdriver handles by using this Becquerelite material. Okay, by using this Becquerelite material, this material which is formed when combines carbonic acids with formaldehyde. Okay, so for the discovery of this Becquerelite, for the invention of this Becquerelite material, Dr. Leo Hendrik Becquerel, named as the presence of father of plastic industry. Okay, what is his name? Father of, very important, he is called father of present plastic industry. Okay, plastic industry, very important. Okay, what is the story of Becquerel? So the Becquerel is a Belgian scientist. Okay, what is the full name? Dr. Leo Hendrik Becquerel. So unfortunately, he discovered a material in the laboratory while combines carbonic acids with formaldehyde. What is the material name? Becquerelite. Okay, so for the invention of Becquerelite material, he named as the father of present plastic industry. Okay, the father of present plastic industry. Okay, next topic is hard pin test. Okay, what is the next topic? Hard pin test. Children, do you know, you take a very hot pin, okay, and touch to the handle of utensil of pressure cooker or tea vessel or screwdriver. Then what happen? How you know that is pure Becquerelite or not? Very simple. You take a very hot pin and you touch to the handle of utensil of tea vessel or pressure cooker. Okay, if the black color portion of handle of utensil which is bone with acid smell or which turns to purple bone color, that is not a pure Becquerelite. Children, are you understand? How you know hot pin test? How we can confirm we are taken from shop the handle
handle of utensils or pressure cooker handles which is pure bakelite or not by using this hot pin test. Okay, how you know? First you take a very hot pin and touch to the handle of utensil or pressure cooker or screwdriver. Okay, so if the pressure cooker handle which burn with acid smell, or which is converted into purple, bone color, okay, which is converted into purple bone color, it indicates the material is not a pure bakelite. Okay, the material which is not a pure bakelite. Okay, this is about what? This is about hot pin test. Okay, children, once you observe the electrical wires, handle of utensil of vessels in your kitchenware items, okay, which is covered with plastic. Okay, the electrical wires which is covered with plastic. Why? Because the plastic is a good material which does not allow the heat and electricity. Okay, so that's why the plastic is also called as poor conductor. The plastic which is called as poor conductor of heat and electricity. Okay, the plastic which does not allow the heat and electricity into them. Okay, so that's why the plastic which is called poor conductor of heat and electricity. That's why we are using in the electrical wire preparation plastic. Means the electrical wire which is made up of plastic, but inside what is present? Metal is present. That is nothing but aluminium, copper, like that, because it allows the electricity from one place to another place. Okay, but the outer layer of the electrical wires which is made up of plastic. That's why the plastic which is called as poor conductor of heat and electricity. Okay, children, now I will ask some questions to you. Do you know non-stick kadas and non-stick pans? Okay, which are made up of non-stick. Why? Because the non-stick is also one type of thermosetting plastic which does not allow the heat and electricity. Okay, and which is very strongest plastic. If we can apply heat energy also, it does not melt. Okay, so that's why in the fried items we are using, okay, in the fried situation we are using most of them non-stick pans, because non-stick pans also one type of plastic. Okay, these are called as poor conductor of heat and electricity. Okay, next one, fireman. Fireman wear dress which does not catch fire. What type of fabric it is? Okay, that is nothing but nylon. Children, already know, already discussed in the previous class, the nylon is a very strongest synthetic fiber. It does not catch the fire easily. Okay, so that's why if any fire accidents will be happen, the fireman will wear nylon cloth. Okay, this is nothing but what? Synthetic cloth. Okay, children, this is about today's our topic. Okay, so what we discussed today, why do we prefer plastic? Because the plastic has some characteristic features, that is nothing but the plastic which is available in cheap cost, which is durable material, which is available in anywhere, which is light in weight, and it is easy to carry. It is a strong material, it does not form rust, and it converted into different shapes. Okay, the Belgian scientist Dr. Leo Hendrik Bekkelain invented a chemical that is nothing but bakelite. Okay, this bakelite chemical which is formation in the presence of carbonic acid which reacts with formaldehyde. That's why Bekkelain is also called as father of present plastic industry. Okay, so by using hot pin test we can confirm that is genuine bakelite or not. Okay, so that's why the plastic is very essential. Okay, we are using in the electrical appliances, means on the wires we are using plastic material. Why? Because the plastic is a poor conductor of heat and electricity. Okay, this is today's our class. Hope you understand this video. Now homework. Okay, read the advantages of plastics. Read the advantages of plastic. Okay, read the advantages of plastic. Children, this is very important to you. Okay, understand? Yes. Children, our next topic is plastic and environment. Okay, generally I am saying this topic. Children, do you know plastic? Yes. Children, most of them we are using plastic in our day-to-day life because the plastic has some advantages. We know that. Okay, so the plastic which is very essential in our day-to-day life, but the plastic has many disadvantages. Okay, with the help of plastic we can do anything. Means the plastic is useful as well as it is harmful material in our day-to-day life. Okay, children, generally we are using plastic, so we are eating some food items and we are taking from the plastic covers. So children are eating the plastic covers and they are throwing into the drainages and in the waste out in the open places. So what happened? The plastic papers and the plastic covers are going to reach in the drainage water and which will clog the drainage water. So if the drainage water will be clogged, what happens? There is no flow of drainage water. Okay, so children, do you know the plastic is a very dangerous material? Okay, so the plastic covers are dangerous than atom bomb. Okay, the plastic covers are very dangerous than atom bombs. Okay, so generally we are eating chips, kurkures and biscuits, lays from the plastic covers and we are throwing into the open places and into the drainages. Okay, what happens? The plastic does not decompose easily in the soil. Means you throw vegetables and fruit peels and whatever it may be. Okay, so the some bacteria are present in the soil. They eat that fruit and vegetable peels and they convert it into very smaller compounds. The smaller compounds are easily decomposed in the soil. But plastic is a very hazardous material. Okay, which does not decompose easily in the soil. Okay, so that's why children, please avoid to usage of plastic in your day-to-day life. Okay, plastic causes many dangerous effects on human beings. Okay, in the next class we are going to discuss about how the plastic is dangerous to us. Okay, children, so don't use plastic unnecessarily. Okay, so if you are going to market, you are selling some vegetables, you know, so at that time you carry what jute bag. Okay, you carry jute bag or cotton bag to take the vegetables from the market, but people are using unnecessarily plastic covers and they are throwing outside into our atmosphere. So this plastic causes many dangerous diseases. So if we are born in the plastic material, what happens? The plastic materials release very harmful gases into our atmosphere. So if we are breathing that harmful gases, it leads to cancer, asthma and some respiratory diseases. Okay, so if we are putting into the soil, what happens? The plastic material does not decompose easily in the soil. It does not allow the rain water into the soil. Okay, so that's why prevention is better than cure. Okay, so that's why you stop usage of plastic. Okay, instead of plastic, use jute and cotton bags. Then we can save our environment. Okay, children, this is about introduction of plastic. Next class we are going to discuss about plastic and environment. How the plastic is affecting dangerous effect on the environment. Okay, we will discuss in the later classes. Hope you understand this video. Thank you. Very good morning, children. We are going to discuss the new chapter, reproduction in animals, from 8th class biology. Children, in previous classes we discussed about the story of microorganisms, part 1 and part 2. Okay, so now we are going to discuss the new chapter. It's nothing but reproduction in the animals. Children, before going to discuss
what is called the reproduction? The parents which gives birth to their young ones. Okay, parent organisms produce daughters, or parent organisms produce their offsprings. Okay, so this phenomenon is called reproduction. Re means again and again. Re means again and again. Production means giving birth to young ones. Production means giving birth to their young ones. Okay, young ones. Children, what is called reproduction? Re means again and again. Production means giving birth to their young ones. Okay, so the parent organisms giving birth to their young ones. This process is called reproduction. Children, how digestion, excretion, respiration is important to our life. Like that, this reproduction process is also very important in the nature. So the reproduction process increase continuation of the species. Okay, what is the use of reproduction? Reproduction process increase continuation of species. Okay, continuation of species means the generation to generation the species are increasing due to reproduction process. Okay, so children, in this chapter how the reproduction processes takes place in the animals. Okay, so in the previous classes, for example in 7th class, you learned already how the reproduction process is carried in the plants. Children, do you know chrysanthemum plant? When we are keeping under the soil, the new baby plant will arise. Children, do you know bryophyllum? If we can keep the edge of the leaf of the bryophyllum in the soil, from the edge of the leaf, new baby plant will arise. So children, in 7th class we discussed about the reproduction in the plants. Once you recall the chapter, Nana. So in the 8th class we are going to discuss about reproduction in the animals. In the later classes we will discuss about reproduction process in the human beings. Okay, so what is called reproduction? Re means again and again. Production means giving birth to their young ones. Okay, parent organisms giving birth to their young ones. This process is called reproduction. The reproduction process is very essential to our life. Why? Because it is the continuation of species. Okay, from one generation to another generation, the species are continuing with the help of reproduction process. Okay, so coming to the lesson, one day Ritesh observed in the school ventilator some pigeon birds are small baby pigeon birds are coming from the hatched eggs. So he was very interested to observe how the small pigeon babies are coming out from the eggs. Okay, so he observed that process and he wondered and he asked some questions. Children, what is the first one? First question, the pigeon will come first or egg will come first? This is no answering question. Okay, so with the help of egg, pigeon will come out. With the help of pigeon, the egg will come. So such questions in our nature we don't have answers. Okay, so children, in this class we are going to discuss about how the reproduction processes takes place in the animals. Before going to discuss this topic, we want to know about what are called oviparous and what are called viviparous animals. Children, animals are mainly classified into two types. First one, oviparous
Children, what are called oviparous organisms? Which organisms giving birth to their young ones through laying eggs? What is that? Which organisms giving birth to their young ones through eggs, by laying eggs? That organisms are called oviparous organisms. Okay, which organisms giving birth to their young ones by laying eggs? By laying eggs. Okay, these organisms are called oviparous organisms. Okay, next up, which organisms giving birth to their young ones directly, means without egg? Okay, that organisms are called viviparous organisms, giving birth directly. Giving birth directly. Children, animals are classified into two types: oviparous, viviparous. Which organisms giving birth to their young ones by laying eggs? These organisms are called oviparous. Example: pigeon. Okay. Next, crow. Okay. What is it? Eggs. From eggs giving birth now, some animals, they only called oviparous. For example, what na? Pigeon, crow, duck, etc. So viviparous, buffalo, cow, human beings, buffalo, cows and human beings, etc. Okay. So remember this. Which organisms giving birth to their young ones by laying eggs? They are called oviparous. Example: pigeon, crow, etc. Which organisms giving birth to their young ones directly from the stomach is called viviparous. Example: buffalo, cows, human beings, etc. So children, we will observe generally many animals in our surroundings. Then how we can find out which animal is oviparous and which animal is viviparous? Okay, children, these ovi and viviparous animals contain some characteristic features. Okay, so which animal contain external ears? Which animals contain external ears? Means we can visible ears from outside of the body. Okay, so that animals are called viviparous animals. And which animals contain external hair on the skin? Children, we are viviparous, you know. So our ears are looking outside, and we have external hairs, epidermal hairs on our skin. So we are viviparous. How? Our external ears are visible and epidermal hairs are present on our skin. That's why we are the best example of viviparous animals. Okay, which character? Hairs on epidermal. Epi means what? Outer layer. Epidermal. Okay, epidermal skin. Okay, so which animals contain external ears, hairs on the epidermal skin? That animal is nothing but viviparous, which gives directly birth to their young ones. Okay, next, what is the characters of oviparous? They do not contain external ears. They do not contain external ears, and they do not contain hairs on epidermal skin. Means epidermal layer. Okay, so these are called oviparous animals. Very important to marks question. Okay, children. So what is the very important question here? What is called reproduction? Okay, so which organisms giving birth to their young ones? The organisms. Okay, this process is called reproduction. Which organisms giving birth to their young babies? The process is called reproduction. The reproduction process helps to continuation of species from one generation to next generation. Children, next day This type of reproduction is called sexual reproduction. Okay, which is possible in higher animals and some plants and mainly in the human beings. Okay, next type of reproduction is asexual reproduction. Children, what happens here? Here the male organism do not combine with female organism. Means male organisms combines with male, female organism combines with female. So that's why there is no formation of zygote takes place. Okay, there is no formation of zygote takes place. If zygote formation is not takes place, fusion of gametes also not takes place. So this type of reproduction is called asexual reproduction. Here no formation of here what happens Nana? No formation of gametes or takes place. So that's why no formation of zygote takes place. Okay, this type of reproduction is called asexual reproduction. Children, in previous classes we discussed about asexual reproduction in the plants. So in this chapter we discuss about the asexual reproduction in the animals. Okay children, so what is called asexual reproduction? In which process the formation of gametes does not takes place and the formation of zygote is not takes place. That type of reproduction is called asexual reproduction. Okay, for example amoeba, hydra, paramecium, so etc. These amoeba, hydra, paramecium etc. these organisms carry asexual reproduction. Okay children, so in this chapter we will discuss about how the asexual reproduction takes place in the hydra and amoeba. Okay, so first, do you know children what is the shape of the amoeba? Amoeba has no definite shape. Okay, amoeba has no definite shape. It contains nucleus in the center of the structure. Okay, so amoeba contain feet-like projections. Amoeba contain feet-like projections are called pseudopodia. Very important. Pseudopodia. Okay, with the help of pseudopodia, amoeba absorb the food materials from outside and it release waste materials into the environment. Okay, so first we are discussing about how the asexual reproduction process takes place in the amoeba. So this is the amoeba organism. Okay, it has no definite shape. It contains nucleus in the center of the structure. With the help of pseudopodia, amoeba can move from one place to another place and amoeba absorb the food materials and amoeba excrete the food materials. Okay, how the reproduction process takes place in the amoeba. Okay, coming to here Nana. So what happens in the amoeba? The binary fission. What type of reproduction takes place in amoeba? Binary fission. Okay, binary fission. What is called binary? Bi means what Nana? Two. Okay, bi means what? Two. Fission means what? Daughters. Okay, fission means what Nana? Daughters. So what happened here in the case of amoeba? One parent amoeba gives birth to two daughter amoebas. Okay, one parent amoeba gives birth to two daughters amoebas. Okay, so that's why this type of reproduction is called binary fission. Bi means two, fission means daughter, means single parent amoeba give birth to two daughters. That's why this type of reproduction is called binary fission. See Nana, what happens in the amoeba? So this is the amoeba. Okay, it contains nucleus. So in the reproduction process, first the size of the amoeba organism which is increases. That's why the size of the nucleus also increases. Okay. In the next step, what happened now? The single nucleus which is converted into two daughter nucleus. This is parent nuclei. Parent nuclei which is converted into two daughter nuclei along with the division of amoeba structure. So here in the fourth case, what happened now? The structure of the amoeba which is divided into two parts. Okay, and the structure which is increased. The size of the structure is increases in the case of amoeba. So finally what happens? This mediator, okay, this cell which is broken in the amoeba, the cell which is broken in the amoeba, then this parent amoeba produce two daughter amoebas. Okay, so here what happened now? Single parent amoeba can give birth to two daughter amoebas. That's why this type of fission is called binary fission. Okay, next what happens in the hydra? It maintains budding in hydra. Okay, so the type of asexual reproduction in the hydra is called budding. Budding means what, Nana? Bud. You know, flower which is coming from bird. So this is what hydra. Hydra organism. When the hydra organism is going to reproduce asexually, what happens? From the hydra organism, okay, small bud will arise. Then in the next case, the size of the bird increases. So in the next case, what happened, Nana? The bird increase their size. So this is parent hydra. Parent hydra gives daughter hydra in the form of bird. Okay. So in the next case, what happened, Nana? The daughter hydra which is separated from parent hydra. Okay. So that's why this is parent hydra, this is daughter hydra. So here what happened? The parent form bird, the bird increase the size and which is converted into daughter. So that's why in the form of bird, the reproduction processes takes place in the hydra. That's why this type of reproduction is called budding. Okay, hydra, parent to hydra produce daughter bird. Okay, so here what happened? The single parent to hydra organism can produce daughter hydra by bud. Okay, now so that's why this process is called budding. So understand now what we discussed in this class? Reproduction in animals. Reproduction is what? Again and again giving birth to young babies. The process is called reproduction. This process is very essential to continuation of species from one generation to next generation. Okay, so mainly organisms are classified into two types. First one, oviparous, giving birth to their young babies through laying eggs. Okay, next second one, viviparous, organisms giving birth directly to their young babies. Okay, next about reproduction. So reproduction is of mainly two types. Sexual reproduction, here fusion of gametes and zygote formation takes place. Okay, second one is asexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, there is no fusion of gametes and there is no zygote formation which is takes place. Okay, for example, plants, Chrysanthemum, Bryophyllum, rose, which carry asexual reproduction. So in this chapter, we discuss about the reproduction in animals. Okay, so in this chapter, we are going to discuss only two topics in the 8th class. First one, budding in hydra. Okay, this is the parent hydra organism. Okay, which is reproduced asexually. When the hydra organism is going to reproduce asexually, what happens? A small bird which is formed from the parent organism. So the size of the bird increases, then this bird converted into daughter bird. Okay, so finally what happened? After completion of reproduction process, the new bird, daughter bird which is separated from parent bird. Okay, so in the form of bird, reproduction processes takes place in the hydra. That's why the amoeba organism which is going to divide into two halves. Okay, so that's why one parent amoeba organism, with the help of nucleus division, it gives birth to two daughter amoebas. That's why this process is called binary fission. Mainly we can observe in the amoeba. Okay, this is about what, Nana? Asexual reproduction process in the animals. Okay, in the later classes we will discuss about sexual reproduction process. Hope you understand this video. Very important, Nana. Okay, now we take homework. First question: what is called reproduction? First question is what, Nana? What is called reproduction? Second question: write the characteristics. Write the characteristic features of oviparous and viviparous animals. Oviparous and viviparous animals. Third one, read about budding in hydra. Read about budding in hydra. And the second one, binary fission. Second one, binary fission. So these three questions done. First question, what is called reproduction? Second one, write the characteristic features of oviparous and viviparous animals. Third one, read about budding in hydra and binary fission process. Children, one more important notice to you. I already explained about oviparous and viviparous. So in your textbook you have two tables, Nana. Okay, fill the tables. They given some examples. Means they given some examples like animals. So find out the animals which is oviparous, which is viviparous, and fill the two tables given in your textbook according to oviparous and viviparous topic. Okay, this is your extra homework also. Hope you understand this video. Okay, next classes we will discuss about sexual reproduction. Thank you.